Welcome back to Cheddar News, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler. Summer travel season just around the corner. We've got Memorial Day weekend upon us this weekend, and Airbnb is making some major moves ahead of the expected travel surge. The company unveiling today its biggest ever platform upgrade, which includes over 100 changes to make the process of sharing your home or renting someone else's easier than ever. Joining me now is Airbnb's head of policy and communications, Lehane. Chris, so good to have you with me this afternoon. Walk us through the biggest changes that consumers and hosts are going to realize.
First of all, thank you for having me. And I have to say, it's really cool that we can actually talk about travel again. Knock on wood as we turn the corner here. Yeah, we see this historic rebound in travel that is coming in no small part because people have been, and understandably, cooped up for the last year plus. And what we're seeing on the platform is really going to be a once in a century opportunity where people are going to be looking to travel. But within that, there has been a fundamental shift in terms of what people are looking for. More than anything else, they're thinking about travel as a lifestyle. And a lifestyle that really prioritizes or optimizes human connections, connecting with your family, connecting with your friends.
Yeah, Chris, let's talk more about that. I mean, so many people, right? And especially family vacations, which certainly would be a win for Airbnb, right? Some of these bigger properties. Family vacations, we have been hearing, have been booked for months now because people want to get out of the house. They want to get out of the house with their kids. Everyone wants to travel. Again, what are the changes, the specific changes that I think people will notice that will be the biggest changes?
Yeah, so 100 plus upgrades and innovations, and really at the core of them for a guest is going to be incredible tools to give you flexibility. If you are looking to travel to a specific location, say you want to be in a vineyard in Napa, and you go on the Airbnb site and you put in a flexible date, we'll give you all the dates that a vineyard would be available over the course of that summer in Napa. If you're looking for a specific type of a property, if you're looking for a farm stay, because that's what your kids are looking for, you can plug that in and we will give you farms that are available within a certain geographical distance from where you are searching. And what that really means is that you're going to just have tremendous flexibility in terms of looking for what you are seeking when you search. In the past, travel was typically a 1 or 2 week thing, a one-off that people would look at. First 2 weeks in August or the last 2 weeks of August, and you had a defined place that you were going to go. Now with these tools, you're really able to sort of open up the entire spectrum of places and locations that you can go to that really align with what you're looking to do with your family or your friends.
I think for hosts, a big question, right, is do I feel safe? Certainly with COVID, welcoming new people into my property on a regular basis. What were you hearing from hosts specifically that prompted some of these common sense changes?
Yeah. So first of all, hosts have been doing well on Airbnb over the course of the pandemic. If you were a new host and you came on during the pandemic, a typical new host would have made $8,100. But what we were hearing from our hosts and potentially new hosts is that they really wanted to make the process of coming on Airbnb as simple and as straightforward as possible with us serving as their partners. And so amongst the innovations that we are now offering is that you can become a host within 10 minutes on Airbnb. And the typical person who becomes a new host, within 4 days is going to get a listing. And so we're making it as easy as possible and also making the economics as accessible as possible for those new hosts. And then within this, we also heard from our existing hosts who are our partners that as travel is rebounding and they're getting more and more listings, we needed to be there to help provide them the customer support. And so for those folks who are super hosts, those are people who get a certain level of ratings, we're gonna have a specific customer support system that will be there for those particular super hosts who we know need that support as they move forward, particularly given how busy this summer is going to be. And the final thing I'll just flag, and again, there's 100 plus, so I could go through a long list of these, but we have now upgraded the number of languages that our customer support can provide. There's now over 40 languages. We're in 220 countries and regions around the world, and so we wanted to expand the number of languages that were accessible to our customer support processes.
Certainly fitting with the theme of democratization, making that more available. Chris, let's talk more about what is expected from your company this summer travel season. We've been hearing the stories of pent-up demand. We see prices absolutely through the roof. What are you anticipating?
So first of all, we know that the number one thing, this is from survey data, that people have missed from the pandemic is travel, and particularly that travel with their friends or families. And so what we are seeing specifically on the platform, most travel understandably is domestic. It still is within a couple hundred miles of where people are, their origin destination, where they're currently living. But we're seeing a couple different really interesting trends that are new and different. The first is people are increasingly going to rural areas. And then the second is that longer term stays, and those are stays that are more than 28 days, have really increased on the platform. In 2019, about 14% of our nights were people doing these longer term stays. Today, that's up to 24%. And so you have people really immersing themselves into the places that they are traveling to. And so rural areas, of course, beaches, national parks, enormous activity within the 30 miles around national parks and prominent state parks. And then these longer term stays, people really diving deep into a particular community. And I think what all of this also is speaking to is how work, how travel, how living is all really beginning to blend together into one thing.
Certainly over the past 14 months, we've seen that blend in real time with remote work and hybrid work. I think still a possibility for many companies, even as we do see a push to return to the office. I'm also curious, Chris, you just mentioned all of the demand that you're anticipating this summer and where it's going to be. If you're a consumer and you want to book one of these stays, what are the price increases on average that people should be prepared for?
Well, again, I think with the Airbnb tool, it really gives you, and again, as part of the innovations that we've introduced, maximum flexibility. You can put in the price points that you are looking for, and we will show you listings either geographically defined or defined by the dates, or even the type of home that you are looking for that would fall within that price category. And then we've introduced a new tool called matching. And what matching does is it will give you listings that are a little bit above or a little bit below the price parameters that you have put in, which allows you to make decisions, really empowering you to make decisions. Obviously, with the rebound that is coming, we do know that people are looking to stay at Airbnbs. We do know that there's enormous interest. But these tools allow you to sort of give you that ability to sort of identify places that meet your price point.
Super helpful, absolutely. But let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
What we saw in April,
Sure.
right? Hotels and motels, prices for those in April up 8.8%. That was a record gain as long as the inflation data has been collected. Would you say on average an 8.8% gain is the average price hike that you've seen in your properties this time?
Yeah, I'm not going to put a number on it because the way our model works is we are constantly looking to add supply into the market, because the more supply you put into the market, the more options that people have. We're not a hotel model, which is based on that compression structure that you are basically addressing, right? We're constantly looking to add supply in, and the more supply that comes in, the more it will impact the overall price structure. We know that we succeed best when we're giving people as many options as possible. And a big part of our push and some of the products that we've just announced and services we've just announced are really intentionally designed to add as much supply in as we can. And that obviously impacts the overall price structure.
All right, Chris, we got to leave it there. And I'm taking a look at shares right now. I know this is going to be a busy travel season for you. That's Airbnb's head of policy and communications, Chris Lehane. Chris, thanks again.